"Beware of your desires, for they tend to come true." This phrase is attributed to Confucius and his disciples. But what's wrong with desires coming true? Isn't that what we all strive for? In one experiment, Rene Peosh proved that a chick could influence the behavior of a robot with its intentions. A link to the full video of the experiment is in the video description. Today, the power of thought can not only heal people but also control technology and even charge batteries. Everyone has plenty of desires. Why are so few of them fulfilled? Desire is just a concentration of attention on some goal. You can think about it as much as you want, but nothing will change from this. With the help of intention, you can attract various events, people, material objects. You can turn your life into a fairy tale or a nightmare if the appropriate direction and energy were chosen. In this video, we will try to figure out what intention is, how it differs from desire, why some people's desires come true and others do not, how to wish correctly so that desires come true. We will provide a lot of scientific research on this topic, which is unlikely to be talked about on TV. At the end of the video, we will tell you where to get the energy to realize your desires. Enjoy watching. Awareness. Russian physicist Boris Isakov claims that a person's thoughts can be considered material, and even derive formulas for calculating their mass. Other specialists attribute the power of thought to one of the elements of torsion fields. Another Russian scientist, Akhat, proposed the idea of hypothetical particles microletons, from which thoughts are formed. Such particles can freely penetrate through bodies and objects, let light through, and even be perceived by the organs of vision. To confirm his theory, the scientist conducted experiments with photographing the biofield. Even more interesting is the experiment of Dr. Rene, in which the effect on DNA strands by the power of thought was studied. And here's what turned out. Separately formed intention and separately created favorable emotional state had no action. But as soon as the positive emotions and intentions of the experiment participants were combined, the DNA strands immediately began to curl and uncurl during the impact. That is, conscious intention needs energy replenishment, more precisely a catalyst, and emotions, in this case positive, act as such a catalyst. Neuropsychologists Rick Hansen and Richard Dias talk about the same thing in their bestseller Buddha's Brain. Namely, a large part of the intentions arising in our brain is beyond conscious perception. Most often, these are not intentions, but desires. Ideally, our intention should be coordinated at all levels of the nervous system axis. It is then that you will feel a special power. In a neuropsychological sense, intention is consistency at all levels of the nervous system. We constantly switch from one task to another, so neural connections are reinforced to maintain the power of intention, which requires a special and also unidirectional effort. Share in the comments how the power of intention works for you and how you have been able to realize your desires. Let's first figure out the right and wrong desires. The first form is a firm desire to have something and to act. This form is the most correct. With this approach, desires begin to be fulfilled, because there is the necessary energy for it, but at the same time, no excess energy potential accumulates. The second form is a tormenting and inactive waiting for something. Such a desire simply hangs in the energy field and spends your energy. In the worst case, various troubles may begin to be attracted. The third form, the most dangerous of all, is when a strong desire turns into dependence on the object. High significance automatically creates a dependency relationship, which generates a large excess potential. Usually such desires are based on a setting like, if I earn $1 million a month I will become a free and independent person. Which form prevails more often for you? It is important to consider a few more conditions. Each desire needs to be given time so that your desires come true. A certain amount of energy is needed. When we quickly wish for one thing, and the second and the third, we, as it were, scatter our energy, and it does not have time to concentrate. The desire must be in the present tense. For our subconscious, as well as for the quantum field, in essence, there is neither past nor future. There is only the present. Creative and creative activity can only be done in the here and now moment. Therefore, the wording should not contain such words as want, wish, will. You need to write or say the phrase I have, as if the desire has already been fulfilled. The desire must be described in detail. You need to formulate your desire as specifically as possible. It should not cause discrepancies, different interpretations, otherwise you can get something directly opposite to the wished. The desire must evoke feelings, a very important point without which the fulfillment of desires does not work. The appearance of various objects in our life works according to the law of attraction or the law of love. Love is the most powerful force that works like a magnet. Therefore, ideally, it orders the feeling of love. This is possible if the desire will be yours, not imposed by someone close or society. Desire should not contain the particle not. Try not to think about the number 38, you will not succeed. You've already heard 38. Just as the universe and the spiritual world do not perceive the particle not and other negative words. Many say, I do not want to be poor. And the universe receives the message, I want to be poor. We attract what we think about. Therefore, you need to think not about the absence of poverty, but about the existing abundance. Desire should not be tied to time. The universe will fulfill the order at the most optimal time. By setting a date, you tie yourself to time frames, thereby creating a situation of waiting for the fulfillment itself. Intention is not a goal, not a calculation. It is the territory of the soul. Desire must be free. You have probably encountered the fact that desires that we no longer expect for some reason are more often fulfilled when we forget about them. Why does this happen? Because we need to let go of our desires, not hold on and not cling to them, giving them freedom. Our desires need freedom to be realized, namely the freedom of expecting their realization. Our task is to express intention, to give all the will of execution to God, the universe, and just start moving towards the desired without any doubt. Another important point. Intention is a concentration on the fact that the desire has already realized itself. This can be said to be a spiritual contract. You need to try to immediately reinforce it with action in this direction, even the most minimal one you can, and never change your intentions and not deviate from them. This is a safety technique, otherwise your intentions can turn against you or at least stop working. With the help of intention, you can control the world, or rather, choose the model of behavior of the surrounding world. Determine the script and decorations. The work of external intention is aimed at choosing a lifeline in the space of options. A fly, hitting the glass next to the open window, has a goal to be on the other side of the glass. If she flies back and looks at it, sees closed glass and an open window, for her it will be a more expanded vision of reality, achieving the goal with her own efforts. Pure intention, however, opens the entire window in front of the fly. When the energy of the divine is connected to the matter, you not only get what you want, but you do it easily and as if in play, because the whole world around helps you in achieving the goal. This can be characterized by formulas. All doors in front of me are opening, circumstances are developing so that the goal is realized as if by itself. The world itself gives me what I want. Most often a person gets even more than he wanted, if he did not let doubts into this theory and moved forward with trust and joy. If a person is filled with energy, has no doubts or is together with strength, intention can be realized almost instantly. In conclusion, a short and very effective practice from academician Norbekov. Very often, we simply lack the energy to implement our intentions. It turns out that a huge amount of it goes to unfinished business. Norbekov suggests using simple actions as an exercise, such as making the bed in the mornings, washing dishes after eating. Complete any started action. Sometimes we do not notice how we leave unfinished business, do not attach importance to it, tell ourselves later. But in fact, we lose energy. Thus, a person simply gets used to a new state of affairs, to a different positioning and feeling of oneself in this world, and then achieving the desired result becomes natural. New neural connections are formed in the human brain. Moreover, it is important to understand that the brain does not care whether you experience certain feelings and sensations in reality, or imagine them. Neural connections are still formed, and repetition strengthens them and make these connections stable.